everybody. It is Dee and Renee, and I'm broadcasting from Southern California in Palm Desert. And Dee, tell us a little bit about what's going on in the hat.
It's snowing today. Big, pretty snowflakes today.
Wow.
If that's exciting, I don't know. It's -14.
Oh my! Wow.
Which is pretty good for December. So, but I definitely want to be where you are more than I want to be where I am.
Yeah, that doesn't sound like my cup of tea for sure. Okay, so if you are just coming on here, give us a hashtag live and tell us where you're from. I wasn't sure how to describe today's show, Dee. It's kind of a compilation of a few different things, so I didn't really have a name for it.
Right. That's actually my bad, because I was going to send a couple other pictures to kind of explain what I was thinking, and I didn't, so that's my fault.
Oh, no worries, no worries. Remember that if you want to get these recipes, all you have to do is type in the word newsletter, and you will get those recipes. Also, one of the things that we are doing during the holiday season is when you type in the comments section, all you have to do is type the word yes or holiday, and you will get Dee's favorite holiday recipes. Dee, let's pop this up here, and we'll talk about, it looks like you had some seafood going and some different things. What inspired this week's show?
Well, a little bit of everything. A little bit of Christmas party appetizer. That is phase one. So right now we have a lot of clients that are in office parties and potlucks, and some of them are feeling a little bit overwhelmed and stressed about what to bring, not only for themselves, but so they don't want to, not everybody wants everybody to know the journey that they're on. So they want to bring yummy food. So we did a lot of talking about what kind of, crock pot things you could bring or appetizers, and then had the conversation as well about that good old veggie tray. A lot of times if you bring that really good veggie tray, so many people are going to really appreciate that there's some healthy options, because not everybody wants the cookie and box of chocolate diet all month long. So
I do. Just kidding. Just kidding, folks. Let's talk about this first picture here. It does look really, really delicious.
So it's a spicy shrimp cucumber roll. So actually there's so many of those great konjac noodles in there that you can barely see the shrimp in the center. I should have used bigger shrimp. But cucumber sliced with a mandolin slicer makes an excellent wrap or roll. So you don't need rice paper wraps. You don't need seaweed wraps if you don't have them. The cucumber works just fine. And then the konjac noodle is pan fried with garlic and chilies and a little bit of Bragg's soy aminos, which is basically, guys, a yeast-free, carb-free soy sauce. So it's one that we recommend to all our clients, and we refer to it quite often. So if you see us referring to that, that's what that is. And then so the shrimp is just so I just mandolin slice the cucumber and then lay the noodles. You spice and prepare those in a skillet and dry fry them and flavor them up, and then place them on your mandolin cucumber, shrimp in the middle, roll them up and stick a toothpick through, and they are delish. Super easy. You can put them on a tray. You can eat them as a meal or take them as a potluck.
Awesome. So tell me if you guys love sushi rolls. There's all kinds of different things that you could do with these cucumber wraps. Are there a few things that you would suggest trying in the cucumber wraps?
Just give me, you get out of here. Get out. Sorry guys. Yeah, you know what? Any chicken, salmon, leftover, even smoked salmon. So don't even so let's talk to everybody, not just phase oneers, but your maintenance. So think of smoked salmon, think of your, mahi, think of tuna, basically any fish under the sun. You could just do vegetables with those konjac noodles. Spice the same. You don't even have to put any protein in the middle of those if you didn't want. You could just simply do veggie rolls with the noodles. You could have lovely pieces of colored peppers sticking out, purple cabbage to make it nice and bright and enticing on a tray. Those noodles will take on the flavor of whatever you stir fry them with or toss them with. So they're really, really versatile. So of course, I am a huge fan of the chili garlic paste. So it's almost kind of like my first default when I like a spicy noodle, but anything would work in them. So
that sounds delicious. All right, you guys. So if you are on here and you are interested in getting these recipes, they come out every Monday, and all you have to do is type in the word newsletter. And if you want to get Dee's holiday books, just type in the comment section holiday, and that will come to your Facebook Messenger. All right, now this is a hearty meal. Now, is this like one serving, or is this more than one serving?
It actually only is one serving, but is so filling that you could divide it into two. And this was the recipe that I actually wanted to take a picture of some of the ingredients, because as you know, it's winter where I live. It is cold. And not only are sometimes comfort foods or meals really nice, but I really wanted to show you today that we are always a really big fan of fresh vegetables, fresh produce, fresh protein sources, but all of my seafood actually came out of cans, and so did my tomato sauce, so organic tomato sauce. So this is an example of a recipe that, say you came home late, you were tired, or just in a really big hurry, you can take a can opener and open up some shrimp, some baby clams, maybe some lobster or crab if you have it. You can open up a can of some homemade organic tomato sauce, or sorry, not homemade, I guess, but canned organic tomato sauce. Add a little bit of spice to it, and you can do a fast, fabulous seafood marinara in minutes. Basically heat through fresh garlic, some herbs, and it is fast, it's delicious, it's hearty. Now, because I had opened a bag of those konjac noodles, I used half of that bag, so half a serving in my roll recipe, and I used the other half in the seafood marinara. But it's something that you don't have to put in. It's just an addition if you like it, or so if you wanted to do a seafood linguine or something similar to that choice. So even though we do, I want to almost say harp a lot about fresh ingredients, there is nothing wrong. It's only my opinion if you're buying high quality, good canned ingredients, especially in the winter months. Flash frozen veggies. I wouldn't recommend eating everything out of a can, but in the lazy Susan, in the winter months, those are some fast, easy options for meal prep for you as well.
It looks delicious, yeah, and we, during the winter time, I think it's important to notate that our bodies actually crave warm things. So when you eat something like this, that's very satisfying, you're not going to be craving other stuff. So even my like if I do like a chocolate shake or a pumpkin spice shake, I don't make it with ice and water, cold water in the wintertime, because I know my body wants something warm. So I will make it as a warm pumpkin spice latte or a warm chocolate shake. So, good things, just things to know. Okay, let's say hi to a couple of people. Beverly is on, and Angeliki. Nice to
Hello, Angeliki.
Coming in from Halifax. Some of the things that are happening right now, as Dee said, is people are going to holiday events. They are, it's challenging. This is a challenging time of year. And what we'll talk about later, Dee, is about vegetables. And I think one of the things that a lot of people really struggle with is getting all 4 cups of vegetables. And I hear this all the time because, it hasn't been a part of your life for this long period of time. But once it becomes a part of your life, you actually crave it. And I know that might be hard to believe right now, but you actually will crave all these amazing things. And that's what I love. Dee, you always create ways to get those veggies in, tasty, yummy. So these tomato tacos looked awesome.
Very good. Very good. And good hot or cold. And we can design them for a phase 1 or a maintenance. Super easy. I'm going to give you a few helpful hints with tomatoes. Most of you know that watch us on a regular basis. I live near the greenhouse capital of Canada, and it's not a joke. Right actually where our clinic is, it is the greenhouse capital of Canada. And if you can believe it, even in the -14 winter, they're still producing cucumbers, tomatoes, peppers. And so I can buy a bag of Roma tomatoes still that have 10 tomatoes in the bag for $2.50. It's pretty amazing. So I know we're pretty spoiled. But tomatoes, tomatoes,
even in California, they're pretty expensive out here.
I know, I don't want to tell people how to shop, but I won't buy vegetables from Mexico, and especially if I don't have to, and especially because of where I live and how spoiled we are. When you don't have in-season vegetables and you're used to them, they really don't taste as good. So, these Roma tomatoes were the perfect vehicle for our tacos. And as you can see, there is our IP mac and cheese is mixed in with my extra lean ground beef. It has some of the insides of the tomatoes as well, because I hollowed out my little Roma tomatoes for my taco boats or taco shells, whatever you want to say. And I used, we do have a recipe on our page and Renee's blog and the weekly email of our taco seasoning, and it's also in the printed cookbook. So the taco seasoning blend that we use is mixed in with the extra lean ground beef. If you're not a beef eater, you can use turkey, chicken, whatever your preference is. And I've got a little bit of colored pepper in my mixtures because I love peppers, sliced thin peppers, my romaine, and then raw red onion for a garnish. Now, the IP mac and cheese makes a beautiful creamy sauce in the extra lean ground beef. So in that whole big tray that you see, there is only 2 cups of tomatoes. So 7.1 ounces equals 1 cup of tomatoes. And it was just so interesting that the 14 halves, so the 7 tomatoes equaled the 2 cups, equaled the 14 ounces. So it was pretty cool. So it worked out. So don't be scared to weigh and measure your veggies. So if you don't know the volume, go ahead, throw them on your weigh scale to figure it out. One thing that's really important that I can't stress enough under eating is just as bad as overeating. So we don't want you to undereat your vegetables. Romaine was my choice for display because an entire head of romaine lettuce has less than 1 carbohydrate. And it's really great fiber and water. So please don't be scared to eat your veggies, especially if you're somebody who has some sluggy intestines. Get that romaine going. The mac and cheese, guys, I never boil my noodles. I just let the noodles soak in warm water until they're al dente, and then they don't get mushy or fall apart. So that's always a tip we like to talk about. Yeah, any questions?
No.
No?
Let's see. Wendy says, yes, weigh the veggies, eat 4 cups. Yeah. I think that is really one of the mistakes people make, is thinking that unlimited veggie list is enough. And talk about the unlimited veggie list and why we don't get our 4 cups of veggies from there.
Well, as you all know, some of them are on the select and unlimited, but there's just not enough nutrients, fiber, even water between just that unlimited list. You do need the vitamins and minerals from a wide selection of vegetables. And so one thing you often hear me say is in a 7-day period, there should at least be 10 different vegetables and at least 5 different colors. And sometimes I get a little bit of an eyebrow, but all colors count. Every shade of green counts. Every shade of orange and red count. Even garnished vegetables count. So think of your raw red, white, green onions, radishes, raw mushrooms. I always love a unlimited vegetable salsa. Always, always, always. Onions and mushrooms and radish and celery as a topper for salads, fish, chicken, those types of things to help you get your 4 cups in. Often you will see lots of recipes with spinach blended into shakes, those types of things as well. Track them, get them in. And if you do have any tummy troubles, you make sure that you're getting your water, your oil, and make sure you get some lettuce in there every single day to help you.
Oh, for sure, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So you all know that I leave my most favorite picture for the last picture. And this looks, first of all, it looks decadent. It looks like something you would want to be having at a cocktail party. So talk to us about that.
Well, so I named this one the Caramel Snickerdoodle Delight. And so with, now this was really, really, really good. And I really, really enjoyed it after. And it is worth taking the extra couple of minutes to make a fancy glass and do presentation. And you can have this one hot or cold. So it is a ready-made vanilla drink mix, some sugar-free caramel syrup, and cinnamon, and then you will see the rim. So I poured a little bit of granular sugar-free sweetener on a plate and mixed it with cinnamon, and then on another plate dumped some sugar-free caramel syrup. So I dunked the glass in the caramel syrup and then coated the rim with the cinnamon sugar. Now, make sure that you get all that caramel covered. Work it in. You really won't end up using a lot of sugar or cinnamon. You will dump more down the drain or in your garbage when you're done. But once you have that caramel coated, it actually dries around the rim of the glass and stays. And so every time you take a sip, you get that little bit of essence. Just like, I'm not even going to say the names of other drinks that have, salted or sugared rims, but you get the idea. And then the cinnamon and caramel, if you're doing it cold, do it just like a martini shaker. Put all your ingredients in like a shaker cup and shake them all together. pour them in your fancy glass, garnish with real cinnamon sticks. It is the season, so seek out your local grocery store or specialty store. We have a store called Nutters. It has everything under the sun for seasonal baking and cooking and those types of things. Get yourself some awesome cinnamon sticks as stir sticks in your drink. And then, of course, same exact ingredients, and then you can just gently heat and pour into a glass too. Simple, delicious. It is an excellent option for those of you who are looking for a decadent dessert but don't want to bake or don't want to fiddle with packets or you might not have the time. But this is something where you can get really creative. It's so enjoyable, and it will take a long time to sip it. And I will tell you already today that next week I'm going to have a few more options for you in this kind of line of dessert making, because I think for the holidays, Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, these are the types of treats that they're going to keep you out of other treats because they're that decadent. Yeah.
So Marie Ann says fancy, and she says she loves your cookbook, Dee.
Thank you.
That's awesome. So if you are on here and you are wishing that you had a printed cookbook, all you have to do is just tell your clinic to contact Dee, and I'll leave her email down here in the comments section where people can, clinic owners can buy them wholesale and resell them to dieters and just people in maintenance. Talk a minute about kind of the focus of that cookbook, because I think that's really important. It's not just for phase 1.
Right. It is for, obviously it's going to be fabulous if you are in phase 1, but it's going to work for any phase, and it's going to work with you right until maintenance. So one of the things that we practice right from the start when we are on a journey like IP is we're looking to build food habits, eating habits, planning and preparing habits that are sustainable long term. So we want you to start rethinking of lifestyle versus just dieting. Because you're going to lose the weight by changing your lifestyle, and then you're going to sustain your weight loss with that same lifestyle. So these recipes will continue to serve you in maintenance, and we have added some tips on how you can add some healthy fats, for example, to transition them into a phase 4 maintenance recipe. You do not need to be on a program such as Ideal Protein to enjoy this cookbook either. It is low sugar, low carb, keto friendly, and so it works for anyone in any stage. So there are no packets at all in this collection. It is all whole foods, so whole proteins and vegetables, and recipes that you can use from day 1 of phase 1 forever. So
yeah, and it really is, anyone that has purchased it in our clinics, they love the fact that you can just use it all the time. It doesn't matter if you're on plan or if you're just eating regular lifestyle. So that's super important to know. So Marie Ann asked, do you consider the sugar-free syrup one of the free 5 extras? I'll let you talk about that, Dee. I only allow 3. I only allow 3. I think over and above that.
So I don't, and you know what, if they change it at Super Weekends, I'm going to be a little bit of a stickler here. Right at Super Weekend training, straight from scientific support, no more than 4 a day, guys. It is very important. And the sugar-free syrup would be one of those extras, and then respect the serving size on your bottle. So the caramel syrup, I do believe, is 2 tablespoons is a serving. If you were using the caramel dip, 1 tablespoon is a serving. So just be mindful of the actual serving size. So lots of the time you will hear me always refer to maple syrup. So in Canada, The IP maple syrup, a quarter cup is a serving, but in the US, 1 tablespoon of that product is a serving. But the Walden Farms maple syrup is a quarter cup is a serving for both Canada and the US. So you really have to still watch your labels. When I'm using Da Vinci or Skinny Girl syrups, 1 fluid ounce, so 30 mils, 2 tablespoons is a serving, so on and so forth. Now, really important to everybody, sugar-free gum, mints, those are all sweeteners. Sugar-free barbecue sauces, ketchup, a bottle of sparkling ice, that's 2 sweeteners because it is there's 2 servings in those bottles. So they're really, really important to track. And most of you that are on program will find that, some days you might not use any, and then maybe the next day, if you're doing some baking or holiday treats, maybe you'll use all 4, and that's okay. But just be really mindful of tracking them, because if you ever have a stall or a slowdown, then that's one of the first things that we're going to look at to see what's actually going in on top of your regular protocol.
Oh, so many good points, Dee. So the one thing, we've only got about 5 minutes here, but let's talk about learning to love your veggies, because I get this all the time. I hate veggies. I don't know how to cook veggies. Can you send me some recipes that hide the veggies? Let's talk about that.
The winter season's great for hiding veggies because you can cook them up and blend them up into any meat sauce, tomato sauce type kind of plan. But here is a great exercise for everybody who says that they don't like veggies. So we actually do this in our health profiles. In the back where we have clients write down what they typically eat for breakfast, lunches, and snacks. And those clients that they say they absolutely hate vegetables, and they use the H word, it's a strong word. And then we go through and we circle. So if you like lasagna and you like pizza and you eat loaded burgers, okay, let's talk about that. So if you're eating pizza, you're eating tomatoes. You sure are. They're just blended up. Tomatoes are tomato sauces. If you're eating lasagnas and meat sauces and spaghetti sauces, and if you're eating fast food loaded hamburgers, and it's just, well, do you pick off the tomatoes, lettuce, and pickles? But we just talk about it. We just talk about the things where you actually already are eating those vegetables, and then how we can transfer them into everyday living. And baby steps are great. You know what? If you truly don't have a palate for it, we need to get you just to add in 1 a week, or learning to love them again. Or maybe you have to eat them raw, or maybe you're somebody who has to cook them because maybe they're gaggy to you, or maybe you are going to be that client that blends your spinach every morning in your chocolate shake so that you can't taste your spinach because you don't love it, but you need to get it in. There's nothing wrong with that at all. You can use roasted vegetables pureed as a thickener in soups and stews, and then you don't really taste them. Lots of times it's texture and what things look like sometimes too. Kids are famous for it, but you'll actually find out that adults are the same. So if it doesn't look appealing or the texture isn't appealing, then you might not want to eat it.
Yeah, and let's talk for a minute though too about mindset. So if we are constantly telling ourselves we don't like things, then we can't ever learn to like them. And I think that is one of the most key things on my journey to completely changing my lifestyle. I used to sit down at a table and I would literally eat 1 to 2 baskets of bread, including, hopefully cheesy butter or, something like that. And, it was ridiculous. But I finally realized, geez, girl, this is, you walk away from the table, you are so over the top full. And, I won't even go into everything else I ate in addition to that bread. But I had to teach myself to, I don't, you know what? I started with the butter part. I don't eat butter anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And just changing that thing. I can't have, I don't do that anymore. And then so I switched to olive oil. Then I switched to one basket instead of two baskets. I switched to one piece of bread. And then eventually I was like, I realized bread wasn't servicing me. So I don't eat bread. It's not simple, but that's what has to be done. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, like one thing that I really like is the phrase, I can try that. I can try that. And it refers to not just trying new vegetables, but say you're a client who really, really rejects journaling. You think it's stupid, or you don't think you have time. That's a deal breaker, guys. It's a deal breaker, because as soon as you're not willing to do a piece of the program, you're already shutting down your own success. And so we go from, I don't do that, to, I can try that. I'm going to try that. Yeah, and we're not asking for perfection. We're asking to build a lifestyle. So baby steps, I'm going to try that. I'm going to try new things. I'm going to try new ways of preparing things. It's a big thing, right? Sometimes it can just be the smallest change that you try that really goes, I can't tell you how many times, we have so many amazing clients that really do great things, and they're scared to share them because they just think that somebody else will think that it's silly. But sometimes what they see one client doing is an aha moment for them, going like, oh, what a great idea, or I could do that, I could try that, it looks so good. So all of you out there, don't be scared to share. And even if it's been done before, who cares? Share it again. If it works for you, if you have a great trick up your sleeve, it might be the exact thing that somebody else is looking for. But trying to be receptive to new ideas is really important. So, and I know that takes practice, because when we hear things that we don't want to hear, we sometimes just shut down right away. So we have to really try to work a little bit hard at trying to receive some ideas and some new information as well.
Yeah, I love that. I think that, you take the time and the energy to go meet with a coach and to hire a coach and to pay your fee to start a program, and then you don't follow the program. What's the point? Mm-hmm. Right? Mm-hmm. So, honor yourself. And that was another thing that it's interesting. I've been talking online. I get online messages all the time asking me questions. And I was talking with this gal, and she was talking about how she really is going to miss her wine, and she just can't imagine eating her vegetables, and these new vitamins, and I don't know, but she's already signed up. She committed to the program. So, my comment was, it's just like if you were pregnant. If someone handed you a glass of champagne or wine, you would look at them in the biggest, most horrified way. Make the commitment to yourself. So this gal is a super, super successful lady. I mean, she's so organized. She's so disciplined. She, makes a tremendous amount of money because she's so organized and so disciplined. So carry that on over into how you treat yourself. And I think that's a good way to end the show today. If you want to just talk for a quick 2 minutes on respecting ourselves enough to make that commitment.
Well, we very often say that we want things, and then we come up with excuses why we can't attain them. And it's the ugly E word, because that's the only thing that stops our own success, is our own excuses. And sometimes we work really hard to justify those. I wish I had a snap picture today. So today I had a client very early this morning text me that she wasn't coming to see me. And of course, when you always get those, I get a little, like, we're so close to the holidays. She's doing so good. Then her next picture was what happened to her IP food in her suitcase. She had to fly to another city for meetings, and that's why she couldn't come see me today. But she had packed everything that she had needed to be successful. And so she snapped a picture of the destroyed box of her IP food with the caption, "Do you ever wonder what happens to your luggage in a flight?" And it was really amazing. So just an example of, you know what, I'm not able to come see you this week, but I am committed and determined. I am doing self-care to stay on track. I will see you next week before Christmas. And they're decisions we make. And sometimes self-care is, you know what, I'm going to do maintenance, healthy maintenance over the holidays so that I don't overindulge. And I'm going to keep track, and I'm going to be mindful so that I don't end up 10 to 15 pounds unhappier coming into January. So self-care and being good to yourself, it doesn't always, it can be different things. You need to set yourself up to be successful no matter which phase that you're in, whether that be maintenance or a losing phase. Mm-hmm.
Love it. Love it. Okay, everybody. Alexa, one of my fabulous clients, says, thanks for all the insights and, of course, holiday. I love to see the recipes. Alexa, type the word holiday so when you type the word holiday or the word yes, make sure there's nothing around it. It has to be by itself. That's the way the bot works. Okay, you guys, again, thanks as always. Take a moment to send this out and, hit the button that sends it off to your page. And if you are a clinic, a partner, we love you. We love that you're always letting your clients know about our show and about our page. And of course, Dee's Recipes has her own group where there's about 6,000 dieters and clients that are constantly encouraging everyone. So that's where we are. We need support. This is not an easy process, and particularly during the holidays. So have a fabulous, fabulous week. Make some good recipes. Enjoy yourself.
So next week, we're just going to feature some really, really, really holiday inspired festive recipes, guys. So awesome. We're going to, So
okay.
Join us next Wednesday, because that is December the 18th, guys. That will be our final show before Christmas Eve is upon you all. So join us in for a little bit of food ideas, a little bit of fellowship, and if you just need a little bit of extra support before heading into that week of Christmas.
Yeah, love it. Okay, talk to you soon. Bye. Bye.